I don't think so. I just let them read their own
Yeah,
Q&A and off we go.
that works for me. So that's tonight's show. So keep going, you guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank you for all your ears.
Hmm.
For all the years you've helped us.
Bah.
Oh, Brian Lang starts off. Friends, Roman countrymen, lend me your ears. I promise to give them back in a bit. And
He's
I
silly.
clicked on it. And please start the broadcast before you select a question. I kind of thought I have. Huh.
It does
Q&A
say
may
that
not
we're
work well
live.
tonight.
Ruh-roh.
So, oh. Now it's working.
Wait for it.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. Hey, let's get a show going.
Hey, let's do that. Let's do that
Love this
thing.
idea. And here we go. There we go. The coolest dance move I know, the bat dance. Well, hello. You found us. Welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the Great Pacific Northwest. We're going to talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So whether it's clear or purple rain, it's time to go caching in the Northwest. Now, we can't bring in, or we can't do caching in the Northwest until we bring in our wily monkey. Some say the letters D, N, and F are not in his alphabet. And others say that geocaching.com has created new rules solely on his behavior. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
I love the fact that I almost butted in on the part of we can't bring in the Land Monkey because he just can't control himself. So sorry, folks. He's going to be quiet tonight while the bad cop does the show. Yeah, no, that's it. That's me, the Land Monkey. And thank you very much for yet another fun and gracious introduction. And yeah, I think it is true that geocaching.com probably are creating new rules based solely on my behavior because somebody needs to try and control me. Yeah. Fortunately, Cinco de Mayo, we will have Rock Chalk on the show, so we'll be able to actually ask him if that's true.
Okay.
All
I
right.
love it. Well, sinking of the Mayo.
Yeah, and I picked up, catching up on my podcast listening on my drive home from work today. I heard that Rock Chalk is also going to be on Gearheads on Cinco de Mayo. So I guess he's doing a double header that night as well.
Wow. He's everywhere you want to be.
Yes. He's everywhere nice. I want to be anyways, which is geocaching.com.
All right. Well, there are job listings at geocaching.com. You could be working there.
I could. I have to take a closer look at that. All right. Hey, well, thank you again for the introduction. And once again, before we get going, it's time to start glowing.
I love that. We're calling this segment Glow, or the geocache log of the week. Have you read in a log entry that made you laugh out loud, or perhaps one that told such a good story you felt like you were there? Whether it's yours or not, we want to hear about it. So send an email to feedback@cachingNW.com. Of course, you call it in to 253-693-TFTC, or you can use the voicemail tool on the website to show us just how you glow. This one comes from one of my caches, friend of the show, Sprouter. And when you listen to the log, I did it more out of spite than out of glow. Today I came out to T-Town to work on the Tacoma Blackout Challenge. Well, this nano cache was on the list. Reading the previous logs, I was made aware that the log needed to be replaced. So with a new log in hand, I grabbed the cache, switched out the logs, signed my name, replaced the cache, and headed on my way, feeling good about myself for replacing a nano log. Now, this has to be the longest log I've ever written for a nano cache. I know it's not glow worthy, but maybe an honorable mention. I mean, it is a nano cache. I was just kidding. I was trying to add more words to this log. Anyway, the cache is in good shape and ready for more signatures. Replace the sign the replacement log. Thanks for the cache. STRCTFTC. Those are a lot of letters right there.
Those are a lot of letters. And hey, Sprouter, once again, thanks for being one of those guys who does cache maintenance for other geocachers who can't be bothered to maintain their own caches.
Wait, that's me. So don't always depend on a people like Sprouter. I've said this many times. To replace your own, replace logs in your own cache.
Absolutely.
What's funny is, when we go out to lunch, and we probably go out to lunch a couple times a week, I usually drive right by it and I think, oh, I'm going to replace it on the way back. And on the way back, I get my mindset into work and it's like, okay, let's get in, and I completely forget. So thanks, Sprouter. I've got another cache not too far away. It probably needs a log if you don't mind stopping by.
Awesome. All right. Well, Bad Cop, hey, how was the past week in geocaching? Anything interesting you want to share with us?
I want to share 7 days.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. 7 days. 7 days a week, 7 brides for 7 brothers. Oh, wait, that's different. I have 7 days left to fill on my 366-day challenge.
Awesome.
It seems to have crept up on me, and I'm excited. And I think the entire city of geocachers will be excited to stop seeing my log entries about it. I came out and found this log because I'm working on my 300. Yeah. I've had several. I found a log after you. So you still working on that? Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. Well, hey, good job. That's fantastic. Glad to hear it. So you must be excited. Almost got that challenge in hand.
Yes. So I've got 1 day left this month. I can skip the month of May. So I'm not going to do any geocaching. June, I've got 2 days. July, I've got 3. And I've got that 1 day left in August.
All right. Well, and tonight we are going to be talking about geocaching listeners. We're going to be talking about just that kind of topic that the Bad Cop was sharing, not having others maintain your caches, not 7 days of geocaching. What we're going to be talking about
7 brides for 7 brothers.
But we are going to be talking about 7 brides for 7 brothers. So hopefully you've seen the movie because that's really all we're going to talk about tonight. No, what we're going to talk about tonight is what are your geocaching plans for this summer? So folks in the Q&A, we're looking forward to hearing from you what your geocaching plans are for this summer. And we're going to talk about some big events going on throughout the Northwest through this show, and looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about that.
Well, first of all, we have to talk about you, Land Monkey.
Do we have to?
What have you done this week? Because in the Q&A, we have lost it.
You've lost it?
I've lost the Q&A. I need to click on it. Brian Lang says, what? A geocaching podcast host that doesn't go geocaching? Say it isn't so.
Not on this podcast, baby.
No, that's why we have Land Monkey. So we can say people on this podcast, okay, a person on this podcast actually goes out and caches.
It's my only escape. Unfortunately, my wife loves doing it with me. So it's time for us together. And it's time away from work. So it couldn't be any better. All right. But yeah, you know what we did? We actually had a great #geocache road trip to Gold Country. We went back up to Gold Country this last weekend. It was kind of an impromptu last minute trip, but it was a lot of fun. We saw some amazing sights, found many geocaches, took lots of footage, including a couple of great periscopes that we did. And that was a lot of fun. In addition, within the last couple of weeks, I hit a new cache not far from my house, and it's kind of a fun one. At least I had fun making it, and it's I'm not going to say it's original because I'm sure somebody else has done the same idea somewhere before, but it was fun to put together and build the little backstory and the description for it. So far, the few people who found it have, not necessarily any truly glow-worthy logs, but definitely it looks like they're enjoying the find. So So that's always fun when you can get a
nice
cache.
job. Well, actually, the cache that Sprouter found, the one that was not quite glow worthy, but an honorable mention, maybe, that is going to be changed. I'm working on replacing it with a multi in the same space. So,
ooh, multi, very nice.
So that's
awesome.
That's one of the reasons I adopted that cache.
Ah, it's an adopted child.
Yes. So astute listeners and perhaps even viewers may have noticed we're a little different tonight.
We're a little different every night, but
that's true. We have
what are we getting at?
We've lost Wit's End. He's out this evening. He should be back with us next week.
So without an end, this podcast will just keep going?
Yes. We've reached our wit's end. No, wait. We haven't reached our wit's end.
We haven't.
This is awkward.
We've tried to reach our wit's end, but he's not picking up.
However, 3 Hams in a Row says, where's Jasper, the canine co-host?
So I think that might be coming up because, okay, quick little backstory here. Like many other weird pet owners, years ago, I created a Facebook page for my dog. And yeah, and used it to post photos and videos of him and linked with a few family members. It was just sort of a fun thing to do once in a while, and then promptly forgot about it. Then last week, something occurred. I can't even remember what triggered me to think about, oh yeah, I should log into that account, and I had to reset the password, but got in, and there was a thread going on Facebook chat, including 3 Hams in a Row. And I'm going to have a little fun. So I invited Jasper to our dog Piggy to join into that chat. So had a little fun. You know, that's why he's asking.
Geopets are very popular. You could do your own podcast.
You know what's funny? Is somebody actually, I can't remember who it was. One of the listeners, I'm pretty sure, mentioned that Piggy should have his own videos on the vlog. And then that got me thinking of, POV videos, get a camera on the collar. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Wouldn't that be PIG videos? Sorry. I don't want to go into this too much. We can talk about it in the after show. But do you like that? Wet Coaster mentions, so Land Monkey, are you going to archive another cache tonight?
No, we'll talk about that in the after show. Oh, lots to talk about on that one, but definitely. That's when we're going to talk about it. All right. Hey, Bad Cop, since we're rambling here, we got to pull it back in. Do we have any news tonight?
We have news. And thank you, Brylang, for getting this to me. Geocaching HQ is nearly ready to announce the end of the moratorium on challenge cache submissions. However, a few details need to be addressed. We will complete the process and present an updated framework for challenge caches within the next few weeks. In the meantime, we want to share a few details about one key aspect of the new framework. All future challenge caches must include a web-based challenge checker. At this time, Project Jazz GC is the only approved website to host challenge checkers. This is one of the changes we're implementing based on feedback from community surveys. We hope the challenge checkers will make it easier for players to determine their qualifications for challenge caches. Additional details will be available via this Project-GC FAQ. So there's going to be more information coming, but challenge caches will be coming back as long as they have an automated checker with them.
That's fantastic. That is great news. And that is so cool for, friend of this show and friend of course, Geo Gearheads, owner of ProjectGC.com.
Magnus,
thank you. His name slipped my mind just for a moment. I apologize, Magnus.
Magnus is a fabulous person. I mean, if we talked with him, was it just last week on Geo Gearheads? I'll stick that episode in the show notes. You need to go and listen to see what he's doing. He was bursting at the seams. He wanted to tell us what was happening, but he couldn't He just said that there's going to be a big announcement soon. So this is
Kind of
what
looks
it
like a
is.
big announcement. Yeah.
Yeah, big announcement. So project-gc.com is one of my favorite websites. I go there at least a couple of times a week. So
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm definitely going to invest in a membership. I've held off, and I'm going to do. I mean, I use the free version constantly, but I've always wanted to play around with the virtual GPS. I think there's a lot more power you can do with that, and especially for planning geocache road trips for #geocache road trips for your summer caching plans. So
exactly,
there you go. So that's awesome. That is great news. And is there a link to that we'll have in the show notes?
Yes, there's a link to that blog post.
Okay.
From geocaching.com.
Fantastico.
But there's more news. Wait, now how much would you pay? In fact, you don't have to pay anything.
I will pay double what I've already paid.
Wow. For 100 years, the National Park Service has preserved America's special places for the enjoyment, education, and inspiration of this and future generations. Now, with this week's launch of Find Your Park Geo Tour, you can celebrate the National Park Service second century by exploring geocaches placed for you by National Park Service rangers and their partners. Now, how cool is this, right?
So is that new? Because didn't they used to not have caches in the national parks? So now there's caches that are placed by the rangers in the national parks.
Yes. So remember that during this week, you can visit any of America's national parks for free. Now, that's a price I'm willing to pay. No, don't get me wrong. That's a price that is really nice. I'm willing to pay the full price to get into the parks because they are fabulous. Be sure to photograph your national park geocaching adventures and share them using #FindYourPark and #geocaching. That's two hashtags, two hashtags in one.
For the price of one, yeah.
Right. The link will be in the show notes. If you're curious and you just can't wait, go to geocaching.com/play/geotours/findyourpark.
Okay, so this is an official geo tour then?
Yes. And it's across multiple national parks.
That is so cool. All right.
Yeah.
Going to be looking into that for sure. So definitely something to add to the summer plans. And speaking of summer plans, why don't we just jump right into some of the things that we're thinking of doing this summer? Now we've got a few big events that we're going to talk about on the show tonight. Not sure if all of us are going to get to all of them. I mean, that would be ideal. If the three of us could get to all these events this summer, man, that would just rock the Casbah. But
really,
it would.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I checked with the owner of the Casbah and he said, yes, that would definitely
go rock it.
Okay. Yeah. So on that topic, no, that actually really has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. So it makes a really poor segue. But let's say that you're looking into the month of June. Just skipping over May for the moment, but looking at the month of June and saying, hey, what can I get out and do in the month of June that has to do with geocaching in the Northwest? Well, the first one I'm going to suggest is the Mount Vernon Parks 2016 GeoCoin Challenge. Now, the GC code for that is GC6 Echo Alpha Juliet Echo.
Well done, my friend.
And I was right too. I'm pretty sure I got the right phonetic alphabet there. That's
there are multiple phonetic alphabets to choose from. So
okay, well, that's the one that my dad learned when he got his pilot's license. So I had to learn it with him. I was his study buddy. All right. Anyways, all that to say, Bad Cop, you and Wits End, and myself and Mrs. Land Monkey, and I believe Mrs. Land Monkey's sister Donners all went down for the Mount Vernon Parks 2015 GeoCoin Challenge and had a fantastic time. Some great caches. And folks, just so you know, this year, even cooler, they are doing a day/night theme. There's 2 paired coins to earn, from what I understand. One for the day caches. So you'll have X number of caches you need to find during the day to earn the first coin. And then they're going to actually have a series of night caches that you do to earn the second coin. I mean, does that sound like a fun full day?
Oh, love it. Yes.
So we're definitely looking at that one. Unfortunately, it happens very, very close to our son's graduation. So we're going to have to figure out if we're going to actually be able to make it or not. We really hope so, because this just sounds like a blast. But yeah, in addition, what we should do, Bad Cop, we should reach out to the organizers and get them on the show.
We need to. I mean, last year it was done so well, and that was their second year, correct? This will be their third year.
Yes, that is correct.
And it's one of the GeoCoin challenges. It's not an official Geo Tour, but I'm trying to think of the word. The coordinator is on the Parks Department. So
yes, he is.
You know, he has unprecedented access. And wait, who do you have there with you?
Well, he somehow managed to get through the security here in the Land Monkey Studios. But for those who are wondering, where is Jasper, the co-host? Here he is. Right here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Say hi.
I thought that was your breathing.
No, that wasn't my hippies. All right, all done. Go see mom. Go see mom. All right.
So there you have it. Plan to make the Mount Vernon Parks 2016 GeoCoin Challenge. And, you know, I can't say that one of these is better than another of these upcoming summer events. They're all going to be fabulous. But yeah, I was very impressed last year.
That was fantastic.
Year, let me put it that way. They knew what they were doing.
Yep. Okay. Bad Cop, why don't you take the next one, even though I was going to talk about it, because I have to go open the basement door and let Piggy go find mommy.
So until Land Monkey returns, the next one you need to hit is by our very own Dora Moore. That's the MGV Summer Gadget Games. And now we're going to have Dora Moore on the show sometime in May to tell us more about the event taking place July 16th in Campbell Park in South Langley. That's just minutes from the U.S. Border at the truck crossing. So mark your calendars now. Don't miss that on July 16th.
Fantastic. Well done. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that enormously. Do you want me to take the next one then?
Sure. Why not?
Fantastic. All right. Well, the next one is one that Mrs. Land Monkey and I went to last year and had a fantastic time as well. That is the Tri-Cities 2016. Well, we went to the 2015, but this year is the Tri-Cities 2016 GeoCoin Challenge, and that is GC60EZ6. And that is June 25th in Richland, Washington, in the Sacagawea State Park. I just love saying that. Sacagawea State Park. It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right. So last year, not only was it a great event, well organized, and we did have Jen on the show in advance of the event, and we'll try and do that again this year. But they had the most cool, badass GeoCoin last year.
Without a doubt.
And if I'm not mistaken, designed by our friends in Spokane. Is that correct? Yes.
I want to say it was a Mackie designed coin.
Oh, okay.
Cash Advance.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, fabulous coin. Multiple parts, little magnetic. They weren't quite path tags. They were X's, you know, for the different cities on what looked like a pirate map. I mean, spectacular design. It was
so cool. Yeah, we have that coin. We don't bring it out very often because it's got multiple pieces, and so you're always a little nervous about losing a piece or whatever. But
you'd lose an entire city.
Yeah, you would literally. Yeah. So it was a map of the Tri-Cities area, and each little X was for each of the cities, each of the 4 cities in the Tri-Cities area. Yes. It's like the 4 books in the Hitchhiker's trilogy. Anyways, yeah. So again, what did I say? June 25th. June 25th in Richland, Washington. There will be 28 geocaches that you need to find. And what they're saying is that you will earn pieces of a puzzle coin. So the coin design is yet to be released, so we don't know what it's going to look like, but we do know that there are going to be 28 caches. That's all I know so far. But again, we will be reaching out to Jen to get her back on the show again and share with us some more information about that always cool event.
That's right.
Well, let me qualify that. Always cool, except for the weather. It is hot in the Tri-Cities in June.
It's hotter in August, so June is the lesser of two evils. There's July stuck in there, but yeah, it's it could be very nice. It could be very pleasant. It could be 170 degrees.
So speaking of badass pirate treasure maps, any other events?
Yes, this is one that's close to my heart. I wish I had the Echo to do this. That men tell no tales. This one is GC69.
Boston Pizza.
Boston Pizza. Thank you. I was going to say beta, but I couldn't come up with P. Boston Pizza 5. So this is one that's put on by Goblin Dust. He did it a couple of years ago. It includes an optional side trip on the Lady Washington or the Hawaiian something ship. These are tall ships, sailing ships, and they have a mock fight. You can go on a battle sail. Completely worth it. I thought it was a once in a lifetime event. I'm going to do it again, so it's at least a twice in a lifetime event. This is, I don't even know what to say. The caches in the city were fun, but it was the boats that really stole the show. So if you can make it out August 13th to Dead Men Tell No Tales, that's GC69BP5. You're not going to.
Sorry, I was going to jump in there and say approximately where is that taking place?
I want to say Bremerton.
Okay.
It's 19 and a half miles from my home location. Port Orchard.
There you go. Port Orchard, Washington. So now that is sort of on the peninsula part past Tacoma.
Yes.
West of Tacoma.
Yes.
For those of us who are maybe not super familiar with the geography there.
Yes. So the Hawaiian Chieftain and the Lady Washington will do 4 2-hour full battle sails. You're on the boat for 2 hours.
That is so awesome.
Yes.
It's also so far away, but
it's far away. You do have to buy the tickets ahead of time, and the tickets are not refundable. So
there you go. So plan ahead, get it in the calendar, go have fun. That is going to be so cool. That is neat. I'm very excited to hear that that's going on. Don't know if we'll make it, but definitely that is one of those must-do events. I agree. I mean, it's just such a cool idea. Anyways,
it really is. Now, I will spill the beans and say you can sign up for battle sales outside of this event. They do that in different ports up and down the West Coast. However, you get it with a bunch of geocachers who dress up. It makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah. Now, some of these events that we're talking about, one of the other things you'll get is the mega event for some of them. Now, I know Tri-Cities is a mega event. I don't think Mount Vernon is yet.
Not yet, but I can see it coming that way.
Yeah. The MVG Summer Games are not, but man, we wish that they would get up that way, but that would also be a lot of extra work, but it would be cool. Dead Men Tell No Tales.
I don't think it will be a mega event. Okay. This is the only second time in 4 years, I believe. So,
okay. So it doesn't have
it's not an every year event. So
it doesn't have the frequency it needs to get that mega status. Okay.
But what about another mega event we could hit this summer?
Well, I know of one that I've been to a couple of times, at least once with my good friend, the Bad Cop. Immediately before I took you in my truck into the middle of a lake. And that would be...
drove me in the middle of a lake.
That's right. Just following the GPSR. Right. That event is the Going Ape 2016 GC 69 Kilo Delta whatever W is. And that is on August 20th. Wawa. That is on August 20th this year. So put that one in the calendar. Man, you know what? You could just line all these up, and it's looking like every other weekend you could be doing something awesome. But yeah, Going Ape will be going on once more without the block party, which normally it is bookended the block party for the last several years. This year it's going to go solo, so hopefully it'll do well. It'll still get lots and lots of people out to travel through that tunnel and just get together and have fun.
There's so much Q&A that I'm having trouble getting through it all. However, Limax is helping us out with our phonetic alphabet. Whiskey.
Thank you. I thought he was just trying to poke and agitate me because I wasn't able to get one of the tin cups.
Yeah, I didn't get one either. And the other one, BP, is Bravo Papa. I thought he was just saying good job to me, but no, that's actually the
Bravo Papa.
There were some others in here.
You're just such a good dad.
3 hams in a row.
A good dad.
Oh, thanks. 3 hams in a row. So my summer plans include painting the deck, fixing the fence, camping, and oh yeah, if possible, GCD. Yes, I said it.
That's okay as long as Brian Lang doesn't say it. We're in good shape.
So we'd have to look to see if they're still doing the GCD hike before the Going Ape event.
Oh, as an organized thing? Well, it's not an event though, is it?
Well, the Going Ape event, yes.
Well,
GCD
Going Ape is
a pseudo organized event. It's not an actual event.
Right. It's just a buttload of people who go up there because it's on the way to the Going Ape event.
Right. Brian Lang says, if our hosts read this, the podcast may end. I did GCD last summer. This year, I'll have to find something else to do at the Ape event.
There you go.
And the podcast will continue on.
That's funny. Yeah, that's a good hike. It's not. I guess it depends on your physical conditioning. It's it's a bit strenuous for some. If you're an active mountainside hiker, it's easy. But it's a great one to have under your belt. The views up there are fantastic. The views on the way up, because the trail is switchbacks mostly out in the sun. So you want to hit it early in the day too, before it gets too hot. And honestly, before the trail gets too busy.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, going early in the morning is much easier. It's cooler. You can get back down before it gets hot, and you can get back down just as the Going Ape event is officially starting. Of course, it's a geocaching event, so geocachers will be there 24 hours in advance, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Unfortunately, I was going to say, unfortunately, if you use an Apple phone to navigate, you will no longer get a funny city name on your way to GCD.
Yeah, that's a shame. Apple has corrected Issaquah into Issaquah. But B Pendragon wants to be able to do GCD this summer, if at all possible.
I'm sure he can.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, that's Going Ape. That'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Not sure if we'll make Going Ape this year, but we'll see. If it lines up, it'll be fun.
The WSGA is really using this as a watershed year for Going Ape. If Going Ape can maintain its mega event status without the block party to give it boost, then it's going to keep going. So if it's going to make it through this year, then we're going to see. But go out and help them out. How often do you get in a mega event that's relatively close to you? Go out and go ape.
Yeah, and it's still a lot of fun. I think a lot of the things they do there, they still have a great time, and great bunch of people running the WSGA. So support your local geocaching association.
Exactly. And another great one at the tail end of the summer
Yes.
is the Cache Dash Splash 2. That is GC6.
Charlie.
Charlie, thank you. Man, I'm bad tonight. I'm not thinking clearly. Charlie, Z0, Charlie.
Zebra.
Well, Zed, I'm doing it for you, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
At least you had 2 Charlies in there, so that helped.
Yeah, that really did a lot. GC6CZ0C. Wow. You need the phonetic alphabet.
That does not roll off the tongue.
That's Cache Dash Splash 2.
I was going to say, that looks like an Eastern European last name, though.
I think I've seen a taxi driver with that name. It's September 17th, back at the Chautauqua Lodge.
Chautauqua.
And that's a name in and of itself, in Long Beach. Now, the Chautauqua Lodge is a very nice facility. I was impressed last year when we were there. So,
yeah, that was nice. And for those who are geocachers, but perhaps your significant other isn't really that much into geocaching, Bad Cop, I think that was your scenario, and still Mrs. Bad Cop enjoyed herself.
She loved it. Being at the lodge, while we were out geocaching, she walked downtown. She walked the beaches there for miles and miles, and she brought us lunch.
She did. That was awesome.
Wow, how amazing is this woman? I really married up. Anyway, there's plenty to do for non-geocachers as well as geocachers. It's a great area there at Long Beach. Supposedly the longest beach in the world.
Yes.
I don't know.
There's a few places that make that claim.
Exactly. So we're going to claim it for Washington State with no doubt. It's the longest beach in the world.
It is a very long beach regardless.
It's got a big metal sign. It has to be right. So a great location, and the time of year is really quite good.
And it's well organized.
It's very well organized. So we really enjoyed ourselves last year. We're planning to go again this year.
Fantastic. And, just wrapping up as you move past the summer and into the fall, again, folks, watch out for GJIF events in your area. So that's something to be thinking about through your summer plans as you're going off and enjoying different events and doing all kinds of great things, is film your own GJIF entry.
That's exactly why I brought that up, because you're going to be going to these events. So you can bring in your fellow geocachers as background, as, fellow actors along with you as you're filming these. So there you have it.
Extras.
Thank you. Extras.
All right. Now, hey, looks like we've got a lot of folks in the Q&A. Is that where you were going to go?
That's exactly. We've worked together long enough now. You're reading my mind. I'm sorry. That's it. That's all I had. I've got nothing more in my mind. It's completely empty now.
That's why I stopped.
Let's start with G-Slink. G-Slink says, my summer plans are Geo Woodstock. Very nice. Caching along the trip there, including Old Mingo, and trying to complete a couple of GJIF entries.
That sounds like a pretty busy summer. That is awesome. That's G-Slink from the Cache and Release podcast. And man, I'll tell you, I wish we could make it out to Geo Woodstock, because I've been to Denver. I love that city, but I visited before I was a geocacher. So man, I want to get back. There's so many spots around the greater area of Denver in Colorado that I would love to go and visit again. And of course, cache, as well as, attend a one of those events, a Geo Woodstock. I've never been to a Geo Woodstock. I think it would be really neat. Mm-hmm. But sadly, I don't really think it's going to happen this year.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, who else have we got in there? Let me read one. Pull one up.
I was going to do Mrs. Smee.
Okay. I'm waiting for it to pop up here. All right. Mrs. Smee says, we will again be competing in the Summer Racer Travelers Race as soon as it's ready to go. That sounds like fun. That
sounds like fun. I don't know this one. So Mrs. Smee, send us an email with a little more detail on this, and we'll include that in an upcoming show, more than likely next week, but definitely in an upcoming show, so we can let other people know about the Summer Racer Travelers Race. That sounds interesting to me.
Absolutely. And that actually reminds me, next show, I should make sure I provide an update on the traveler race between our podcast and the Cache and Release podcast, because both travelers, both TBs have now been dropped off finally. The folks who had picked them up initially had been holding on to them for a little while, but I'm pretty sure that the Caching in the Northwest travel bug is in Quebec.
Yes.
Oh. And the Cache and Release travel bug is in Edmonton.
And how about Hawaii?
Well, it's in Alberta, so they're both in Canada. So I think we've got a leg up at this point in time.
Oh, sorry. We're not competing with the other geocaching podcast. Did you hear that?
Not at all.
Gary from Cache and Release. We're not competing. Limax says Going Ape is one of those events I wish I could make it to. Well, all you have to do is drive. But I don't know if I trust his driving skills, because he says, I visited Long Beach a couple of years ago and then visited Disneyland. That's the wrong Long Beach.
Either that or he took a very circuitous route to Disneyland.
So, Limax also says, I'm not in shape for GCD. Maybe I'll make it a goal for 2017. I don't agree with that. This body made it. Now, was it, did I push myself? Yeah. Did I need to? No. But it's not a super strenuous hike. You're not going to need any climbing gear. Just take your time. You can do it.
Yeah. You can do it.
You can do it. I will be there. I can help you. I will pump you up. Brylang says this year will probably be the last Going Ape.
Well, it's possible. We'll see what happens, but it's a good opportunity for folks to make sure they get out and do that tunnel. If you haven't done the tunnel, then you should get out there and do that. It's a lot of fun. What's so funny? Bad cop, you got it.
Charlie Zulu Charlie. Z Zulu. Yeah, see, now it's all coming back.
Awesome. Hey, bring up Brylang's summer geocaching plans, and I'll read that one out. Wait for it. So Brylang says, my geocaching plan for the summer is geocaching in Victoria. That's the capital city, British Columbia, on Vancouver Island. Geocaching BCGA Campout. More geocaching. Geocaching summer games. Yes. Yet more geocaching. Going Ape 2016. And then geocaching in Alberta. That sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like a couple of hashtag geocache road trips are going to be involved in that.
You never know. Hashtag geocache road trip. Limax says, I'm working on 1,776 caches, 1776, on July 4th. That's a lot of caches to find in a day.
Going to be one busy guy. Well, that's why he has to do the drive to Long Beach, Washington, and then to Disneyland.
Exactly. No, I think he's going to have 1,776 caches total on the 4th of July, which I think is pretty cool. And then I might work on a Fizzy and Jasmer challenge.
That's a neat idea. Yeah, if you look like your numbers could line up that way. It's not a official milestone, but it's a cool milestone, and to land it on July 4th, that's a really neat idea.
Here you go. This one is for you, Land Monkey.
Okay, I'm waiting for the blue text to pop up here on my side.
And sometimes
there it is. It's B Pendragon. B Pendragon writes, Project-GC is nice because it feeds your completionist side. It's evil because it feeds your completionist side. Yes, that is very true. It is true.
Isn't that true of you?
It is. But, it's such a great website. It's the amount of effort that has been put into the coding and the innovation on that site. I'm so glad that it is going to get the acknowledgement from geocaching.com of being the official site of challenge caches. That's just great.
Mm-hmm. Again, Limax. He had 1,492 caches on Columbus Day a couple of years ago.
That's awesome.
That's a worthy milestone. I like that.
That's neat. What would be really cool is if he was out geocaching with somebody named Nina.
Ooh, Pinta and Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a church micro at the Santa Maria.
Santa Marico. No. Micro. Santa Micro. It doesn't work the same. He could do a nano, a Santa Micro, and
there you go. Almost.
Yeah, no, I got to work on that. That wasn't worth it. Okay.
He could grab a nano in his Pinto on his way
to Santa Maria. And if he has a Pinto, he's got bigger problems. But well, that's enough. We will continue more in the after show.
Love that.
Yeah.
Never gets old.
But until next week, Land Monkey, where can people find you?
Hey, people can find us, the Land Monkeys, at our website, which is landmonkey.blogspot.ca or .com, but we prefer .ca. And for our contact info, check out the page, landmonkey.blogspot.ca/p/contacts. On Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope, we're at LandMonkeyGC. On Facebook, we're Team Land Monkey. And on YouTube, well, hey, just look for Land Monkey. You will find us. How about you, Mr. Bad Cop?
Well, if you go to Twitter, I like Twitter. I'm there.
I like the Twitter.
Caching NW. If you go to Facebook, Facebook's okay. I'm there under Caching NW. If you go to Google Plus, now I really like Google Plus. I'm there under Plus Caching NW.
Fantastic. Well, again, listeners, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this very episode of Caching in the Northwest. Remember that you can be part of the show by calling 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask a question, or, hey, just sign our name to a challenge cache any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Love getting those emails. Also, your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, please click the PayPal button on the cachingnw.com website. And remember, this show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copy all right, 2016 by Chris Umvenauer.
Don't really sign our name to a challenge cache. That's not right. The reviewers will call us on it. And we're clear of the recording.
Yeah. So it's time for
the after show.
Now, speaking of reviewers calling us.
There we go.
Yes. I was going to say, and now speaking of reviewers calling us.
What do you mean?
Well, those who might remember our last after show.
The after show.
Might remember that we had a little fun by archiving one of my caches and having a online cache archive party where we just got a little bit silly and everybody was posting needs archives and everything else.
It was actually fun to post a needs archive.
It was cathartic for a number of people and it was a lot of fun. But what we learned is that every time we posted a needs archive, one of the reviewers was getting an email at 10 o'clock at night. So it was a little bit annoying.
Okay. Do you know what that tells us, though?
Yes. What does that tell us?
That the reviewers get an email when you post a needs archive. They know when you get a needs archived.
That is true. So those who are thinking about using it, use it sparingly because it is a powerful tool. And I believe I recently heard Rock Chalk say, with respect to the needs archive log type, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, I would agree with that. So, that not only is cast. Why do I try to talk? Really, why do I have a podcast in which I speak all the time? I should not do this. Okay.
Have a podcast you don't speak in.
Yes. Should I start now?
Yeah, I don't know. It might not be a big seller. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it does on the iTunes reviews.
I could do it all in emojis. The emoji cast.
That was very close to getting T on the monitor. Thank you.
Ooh, I almost got a spit take out of the language.
You're very close to getting a spit take on that one.
Caching in the Northwest is on the forefront of the technological advances in geocaching. So now we know that the reviewers know, and now the reviewers know that we know that they get an email and it needs archived.
Yes, and now we also know that at least 2 reviewers will watch our podcast if we aggravate them enough.
Yes. So, oh wait, wow, there's a lot in the Q&A.
Busy Q&A. Wow, and one of these has got +8.
So yeah, and it's funny because the number of viewers isn't that, but there's more people in the Q&A than says we have viewers, which is funny to me. G-Slink, that's Gary of the Cache and Release podcast, says, Bad Cop, the only person I know who DNF'd an event, and it was my own event. No. That's okay, Gary. That's okay. I've been able to find my own caches. I'm just saying.
Oh, snap. Wow. Okay. You two guys, I don't know. There's something going on here. We're going to have to keep an eye on this.
So, 3ham says, isn't it Mrs. Land Monkey's job to control Mr. Land Monkey?
3hams, you've been on enough hikes with us. You know how this works.
Nobody can control the Land Monkey. We have Jazz Hands.
We did have Jazz Hands earlier in the show.
I tried jazz hashtags and that didn't quite come out the same. I look like I'm having a seizure. No, it's not what I wanted. I loved Limax's quote here. With so many hashtags, Twitter is reduced to 3 characters for an entry. The Find Your Park, hashtag national parks, hashtag geocaching.
This is true.
Can't you do a tweet with all hashtags?
I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Brylang, the research department for Caching in the Northwest, has posted the official link for the Mount Vernon State Park 2016 GeoCoin Challenge, which is,
https www.geocaching.com/GC6EAGE_Mount-Vernon-Parks-2016-GeoCoin-Challenge.
I was going through the phonetic alphabet in my head before I spoke.
Oh, were you? Sorry, I thought you couldn't read it. That's why I jumped in there.
Echo, Alpha, Juliet, Echo.
Well done.
See, give me some time to think about it ahead of time. Limax was hoping to be able to cache right here in the Northwest. Just saying. To get into some Western Oregon to find some caches.
Nice. It's a nice area.
Yeah, it really is. Let's see. Again, Limax, why don't you just come on the show, start talking, because you actually have more interesting comments than we do. One of the first radio shows was someone making funny faces to an audience. Or at least according to the Treadmill to Oblivion by Fred Allen. It's a radio show making faces.
I guess they were broadcasting the reactions of the audience.
Gotcha.
That's the only thing I can guess.
And Limax is right on it. Echo Alpha Juliet Echo.
There you go.
I think he can type that faster than I can think it. Mrs. Land Monkey's sighting was seen.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
I was ignoring anything in the background.
Suddenly a wild Mrs. Land Monkey appears.
If you think she's wild now,
go caching with her.
Wait for the next hike.
You can use her as a stepladder.
I would not advise anybody else to try doing that. I'm just saying.
Wits End is on the show in spirit only.
The after show.
It's the spirit of Wits End. Sounds like it.
A Wet Coaster says we should do a sign language audio podcast. I don't know sign language. Can't.
Mrs. Land Monkey knows some.
Oh, well, let's have her on the show. She
Yes.
could stand behind you. Now,
Okay, that time I saw somebody go behind me. That was my son.
Wet Coaster says summer starts early with a week-long road trip. That would be a hashtag geocache road trip in Ontario in early May. Caching from Hamilton to Ottawa, then into Quebec, and a couple of caches in New York State, then Toronto, and fly home.
Wow, that's a lot of driving. That's a fair ways.
Mm-hmm. What would you say Hamilton to Ontario is?
A long drive.
Okay.
Hamilton is in Ontario. Hamilton to Ottawa.
Ottawa. I'm sorry. Yes.
I don't know. I'd have to look at a map to really get a sense of that. But I mean, Hamilton's just outside of Toronto, I think.
In kilometers, it's like 18,000 miles.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Limax says both his kids are taking ASL. It's American Sign Language in high school.
That's very cool.
Or American is a second language.
American.
Oh, that would be MSL. American is second language. Dora Moore.
Yes.
Thank you, Dora Moore. We love you. Thank you for the upcoming event. That's going to be fantastic. I've got 2 hashtag geocache road trips, and she used it coming up. One before the MVG Summer Games, Metro Van Geocachers, and one after. I don't expect to do any caching from mid-July.
From mid-June.
July 18th at all. But I'll be thinking about it nonstop. Well, then you could log virtuals because you're virtually geocaching.
There you go. There you go. Oh, and Brylang, our research department, has informed us that Hamilton to Ottawa is 516 kilometers or 5 hours of a drive, according to the Googles.
Or about a 6-hour drive. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I guess, well, depending on traffic, I suppose.
Yeah. That's long enough. You got to have some breaks, right?
Yep.
Limax, yes, you need to send in the 3rd installment of The Machine.
Yes, we're all waiting for it with bated breath, but that's because we had sushi.
Ooh. Okay, so we talked about Project GC earlier, and I went and okay, so let's challenge caches. Let's back up just a little bit. Challenge caches in general.
Okay.
Yeah, back the truck up. I made the mistake of reading the forums. Caching forums.
Have you recovered yet?
A nice place. Parents, don't let your children go there. So there are a lot of people who are like, well, this is stupid. And, well, you know what? This
Mamas,
is
don't let your babies grow up to be moderators.
Or blog forum posters. I don't know.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
To be haters, because
yeah,
that's
there you go.
The impression I get. So I don't know where I was going.
So you were in the forum, and we're talking about Project GC.
Saying, "Oh, well, I have a challenge that you can't use the checker on." Well, that's fine. The original or the current challenges will be grandfathered, but new ones will have to have a checker.
Yep.
So, Limax says some challenges can't use checkers due to the limits of the API. And there was another one.
Those are the limits of the, what is it, 9,000 and 5,000?
Something. He says lonely caches are an example. And apparently I clicked great show instead. There you go. Lonely caches are an
Thanks,
example.
Limax.
It's really hard to work with the Q&A when there's so much of it, because I go to click on something and another entry gets entered and things shift around. And when I say I can't find what I'm looking for, it's because I had my mouse over it, And I look over to the show notes. I come back and, well, that's not the entry I want now. So where did it go? Because they're constantly
they do shuffle around.
And FYI, Mr. Bad Cop, sir, your recording of
The after show.
said isn't coming through very loud on the live feed. Was that better? I hope.
That was, yeah, it was pretty loud for me, but I don't know. All right.
Okay. Hoping to do many of the geo art series around Kelowna, BC this summer, says 3 Hams.
Yes. If you don't know what he's talking about, open up your geocaching.com map on the filters on the side, pull that over and type in Kelowna, BC, hit enter, and then zoom out to an appropriate distance, and you will see some very cool geo art. There's a lot of it in and around the Kelowna area, not right in the city of Kelowna itself per se, but you start to go out. There's outside of the city, there's a whole lot of Forest Service roads, and they've used them to just place all kinds of great geo art, including, since we were talking about challenge caches, the challenge bear.
That's funny. A challenge bear.
Which is a grizzly bear made of 100 challenge caches along FSRs. And it's great.
So I was out looking at the geocaching map. I happened to be just east of Battleground, Washington. So above the Oregon border there. And there are 525 caches along logging roads. It's log this logging road 1 through 525.
Wow.
Holy cow. So there's a few caches down that way.
No doubt.
IHAM says, so you did get the recording of the after show thing.
The after show.
Yes, I did.
No, that's Wit's End. He's on the phone.
And that was a much better, says Brylang.
There you go. All right.
Okay, so Brylang says, the announcement today, this is of the challenge moratorium, or the
end of the moratorium.
Yeah, the soon coming end of the moratorium, implies that all new challenges going forward will require a web-based challenge checker. Project GC is mentioned as the only source, since they're the only one doing this right now. That's correct.
Agreed.
That's not saying they will be the only source moving forward. As of this point, they are the only official source. And I can't say it enough. Project GC is wonderful.
It is.
So I'm thrilled with that announcement. I really hope Magnus gets some great traffic out of that.
Yep.
Now, if you have a paid membership to Project GC, and they do not sponsor the show, I'm saying this all on my own. Okay, so this is completely free. They have challenge checkers. If you have a paid subscription, the challenge checkers are automated for you. You can go to a map and say, which challenges do I qualify for? It will search your account, run it against the checkers, and give you a map of caches that you, or challenge caches that you already qualify for. How awesome is that?
That is really awesome.
So there you go. IHAM says hashtag all the things, but it's a hashtag all the things.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when that used to be the pound symbol? What happened to that?
It was an octothorpe.
Keep this as a family-friendly podcast. A what?
An octothorpe.
I'm completely unfamiliar with that word.
Well, you'll have to get the research department to look it up.
Okay. Limax says, when I was working on my 366-day challenge, I was going to skip August, the only month I had filled in, and then Groundspeak decided to do the 31 days of August. Gotcha.
Nice.
Oh,
that's funny.
Limax is also looking for a place to hold his own GIF event. What about a theater? Could you rent out a theater for a reasonable price?
There you go. Or, we were lucky up here because some active geocachers and folks who really help with planning a lot of the events happen to work at the Evergreen Community Center, which has a fantastic hall, which is where we held our GIF event last year.
Ours was held at a local college in one of the lecture halls. In fact, it moved 3 times as more and more people responded. So it was very nice.
That's cool. It's nice when you can do that instead of having to turn people away. That's a fantastic option to be able to do that.
But it's one of those things you really had to keep up on the webpage because it kept moving.
Right. Yeah, you'd show up at the wrong spot.
B Pendragon takes note at something you said earlier, Land Monkey.
I'm full of inaccuracies. So B Pendragon said, he was mentioning when I made the comment of the 4 books in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy, that there are 5 books in the Hitchhiker's Guide trilogy. I can't think of the titles off the top of my head, but I'm sure someone will tell us. And he says 6 if you count And Another Thing, which I am vehemently refuses to acknowledge as canon, and I'm with him on that. And I thought And Another Thing was not actually a book. I thought that was a short story on its own. But anyways, whatever. I agree. That's not canon. Anyways, so that was, yeah, all right. Thank you very much, B Pendragon. The Land Monkey may be wrong, but he has an opinion. Wrong or right, I have an opinion.
Here's
pretty much everything.
You read that one, Land Monkey, and I'm going to go find an answer.
Okay. Waiting. Oh, here we go. Oh, sure. You give it to me because it has a tough to pronounce word.
Oh,
the Owyhee Uplands Byway from Grandview, Idaho to Jordan Valley, Idaho is 821 caches, which starts at the Locomotive GeoArt. Well, that's pretty cool. Grandview, Idaho to Jordan Valley, Idaho. Owyhee Uplands Byway. I have to look into that. Thank you very much, Limax.
Wow.
And 3 hams in a row.
Locomotive GeoArt. Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say 3 hams in a row asks you, Bad Cop, where on the Washington-Oregon border is this logging road? Whereabouts?
Okay, so that's what I was looking up for. The Cackleberry clan has done these 525 caches. Number 1, the logging road number 1 is, sorry, my browser isn't wide enough to show everything, is
wait for it.
GC 3RVFH. Radio Victor
Climax
Humor Hotel. R. The
Romeo.
pirate, no. Romeo, Victor, and F.
I can't remember the letters you said now. So.
Letter F.
Foxtrot
Hotel. Romeo, Victor, Foxtrot Hotel.
There we go.
With a 3 in front of it. So.
All right. So there you go. 3 hams. Hopefully that helps you out. We know where 3 hams is going this summer.
That was number 1. Log the logging road number 1. Oh, let's see. Wet Coaster says the challenge checkers on Project GC have shown that I've completed more challenges than I was aware of. He probably completed more challenges than there are challenges to complete.
There you go. But yeah, I agree. That's one of the cool things about Project GC is that you just go in there and you flip some bits around, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy carmoly. Just the amount of information that it pulls out there is fantastic.
IHAM wants to know if Dear Geocache Guy is going to submit a GIF entry this year.
Well, okay. Anyway. I'll tell you what. Dear Geocache Guy has learned that he can't submit entry. Well, he can submit entries, but they're not going to crack the top 16. But I will promise everybody that this summer there will be more Dear Geocache Guy coming out. We are working on scripts. It is going to happen, but I do have an idea for a not Dear Geocache Guy, but other GIF entry but I need to put together a team to pull this off. And I have some people that I'm going to be seeing this week.
Geocachers you would find at a large event?
Well, a group of geocachers that I'm hoping to find on a smaller group hike this weekend. I'm going to be asking them. I'm going to bounce the idea and see if I can get some help with it.
Nice. Limax says, "Whoops, Jordan Valley, Oregon."
Oh, for the stretch of caches that he was talking about on the highway, the Hawaii, whatever it was, Hawaii or not Hawaii, the Hawaii Parkway or whatever it was called.
Thing to say.
Byway. It was a byway. Yeah.
Wet Coaster, Abel Baker Charlie calling Roger Fox dog from Cheech and Chong.
Don't recall that, but
Limax is looking to rent the fellowship hall of his church. I could look into the local theater, but it might be cost prohibitive. I definitely agree. It probably will be, but it would be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, just do it for the game. Just spend the money. We don't care.
Or get a few people to pool in together.
Oh, no,
collect donations.
Okay. Do you want to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
All right, so I will read this. This looks like it's probably the end of the Q&A, and then we'll probably wrap up the
after show.
All right, so White Coaster shares the deliberately misnamed Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy, that's air quotes, trilogy, consists of 6 books. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 1979, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, 1980, Life, the Universe, and Everything, 1982, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, 1984, and Mostly Harmless, 1992. On the 16th of September 2008, it was announced that Irish author Ain Colfer was to pen a 6th book. The book, entitled And Another Thing, was published on October 2009 on the 30th anniversary of the publication of something.
I have no idea.
Suspense. Anyways, There you go. Probably the 30th anniversary, if it was 2009, of the first book.
Yeah.
So what else have we got? Oh, it's the Owyhee Bypass, and it's GC3 Romeo Motel 92. I did it all by myself.
Yay for you. Breiling says you are allowed to charge a fee to cover your for your geocaching event to cover reasonable cost. If you rent a hall, charge admission to cover those costs.
Love we've done that. We've done that before in the Metro Van Geocachers.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know if I've never been to an event, I think, where I've had to pay. I often buy the raffle tickets to help out and things like that. Not expecting to win, just to help out.
Right, and that's what we do. Is we don't do raffle tickets, but we just have an ammo can that you can stuff some cash in, drop a couple of toonies.
Okay, how about a Spock 5?
Yeah, absolutely. We always accept Spock 5s.
Well, folks, thanks for staying with us through the
after show.
We've got to stop saying "the" when we say, because we always forget that he has "the" in there.
Through
the after show.
That's a really awkward start, though. And I appreciate all of you. You guys make this not just a monologue where we talk to you, but you make it a real conversation. So thank you so much. Thank you for financial support that you give. We really do appreciate it. So with that being said, we say good night and thanks for all the fish.